Thank you so much.
That began British Columbia's economy back in the early days of us as a British settlement. You can see there is farming, fishing, forestry, logging, and also mining, people panning for gold during the gold rush in the 1800s. At the very top of this room, you can also see the underside of our main dome. That is one of our largest green copper domes, one of 33 domes that we have on the top of the roof there. This dome in particular, you can't see him from in here unfortunately, but this dome has that big golden man standing on top of it. That is a statue of George Vancouver. He was the first European man to circumnavigate Vancouver Island and the maps of the area, hence why it's named after him, Vancouver Island. And just like all of the gold in this room, Mr. Vancouver on the roof is not made out of solid gold, he's made out of copper, just like the rest of the domes, and then he is plated very thinly in real gold. Members of the royal family, the Emperor of Japan has come through here. All of these people come through this door. And this is the first room in the building that they set foot in. And the architects knew that, and so he designed this room to be a beautiful first impression, to wow any people who come through here, and to reflect the natural beauty of the province of British Columbia. Another group of people that have used these doors over the years was about 200 school children about your age, and they were gathered outside the building in 1947 because they were protesting the price of chocolate bars. It had just risen that year from 5 cents for a chocolate bar to 8 cents for a chocolate bar, if you can imagine such a thing. And so they were upset, they were protesting outside, and we have these big metal gates out front. They were pulling on these gates, and somebody that day had forgotten to lock the gates, so the gates opened. And that actually means that our Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, because he is not our head of state, even if he came to this building on an official state visit, he wouldn't be allowed through here. But our head of state of Canada, who is His Majesty King Charles III, he's the King of Canada, he would be allowed to come through here. Any other questions? The opposition still plays a very important role in the governing of the province, because it's their job to scrutinize the government's decisions, to question them, to hold them accountable to the promises that they made to the people of British Columbia when they were elected. And of course, sometimes the government and the opposition, every day in the chamber they debate, and sometimes those debates get a little bit heated. Sometimes members start interrupting one another. They start raising their voices, they bang on the desks. Things get loud in the chamber, and of course when that happens, it is especially important that we have a Speaker of the House. So at the very back of the room, that large wooden chair with the sort of twisty poles on either side, that's the Speaker's chair. And the Speaker of the House, once all of the MLAs, that stands for Members of the Legislative Assembly, once all of the members have been elected publicly in a provincial election, then they have a secret anonymous vote amongst themselves as to who the Speaker of the House will be. And once you become appointed as Speaker, you are tasked with maintaining order in the chamber. All questions and communications in the chamber must be directed through the Speaker. The MLAs are never allowed to directly address one another. As